Are you looking to take your personal finances to the next level? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not, with your host, Joseph Sangl.
Well, welcome to episode number
42
of the Monday Money Tip Podcast. My name is Joseph Sangl. Fired up to be with you on this Monday morning or whatever other day you choose to listen to this. That was my co-host, Megan Hibbard, announcing the episode number. Tell everybody what we're going to talk about today. I'm fired up for this one.
Yep. Today we are talking about spring cleaning your Monday, or your money on this Monday.
Your Monday. You're thinking about Monday a lot. Spring cleaning your Monday or money, whichever it is.
So it's that time of year when many people are doing their
spring clean my Monday too.
Maybe you do your spring cleaning on Monday.
And some people call it the money.
The money. It's a time of year many people are doing their spring cleaning. However, closets and drawers aren't the only thing you should be cleaning out. This week, we're going to share some ways you can spring clean your finances.
Yes. And so the green grass is growing, hopefully, wherever you're at. Some of our friends in Canada are even seeing some daffodils and some, what else, hyacinths and maybe some gladiolas.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yes. That's awesome. And it's springtime, and here in the South in South Carolina, at worldwide headquarters of I Was Broke, Now I'm Not, in the Monday Money Tip Podcast, it's been spring for about a month or so. Get fired up.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Maybe 6 weeks. Yeah.
It goes in spurts.
It does. And so we're super excited that you join us for this podcast. We think it's going to be very helpful for you. Every now and then, you just got to back up and spring clean the finances. And so we're going to help you with that today. It's going to be awesome.
All right, but first we're going to go to our current events segment.
That's right. It's my favorite section. Let's go.
Now it's time to get caught up with our current money events.
This portion of the podcast is sponsored by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not insurance page. On this page, you can find tons of helpful information relating to your financial journey. For more information about today's current events relating to insurance, be sure to visit the Next Steps insurance page at iwbnin.com.
Awesome. Fired up. It's current events section. It's current money events section. Current money events. Are you down with that?
Wow.
Let's get busy with the financial combat. It's awesome. I'm rhyming. It's great. I don't know how that worked out. Did that work out well? Should I do that one again?
I don't think so.
No, it's awful. Anyhow, it's April, and it's April 22nd on the day of the release of this podcast. And in our ongoing efforts to be right now relevant, some R&R, with this portion of the podcast, I thought it would make sense to talk about summer vacations.
Woohoo.
Woo, it's spring cleaning, but we need to be thinking about summer. I always like to say this, live in the current season, but prepare for the next. It's always important. And so, in particular, the importance of planning ahead so that you can experience the glory, the awesomeness of a debt-free vacation.
I'm always living for summer, no matter what season it is.
Summer vacation. Now, here in South Carolina, we have an extra season. We have 5 seasons. We have one in the middle of first summer and second summer, known as Inferno. And that is awesome. But believe it or not, summer vacation season begins in a few weeks, and we want to make sure you have a great vacation. What's a great vacation for you, Megan?
The beach.
The beach. That's right. Here in this South Carolina area, people either go to the mountains or they go to the beach.
Mountains are... Psh.
And I like the mountains. They're awesome. I also love the beach, but I don't love to just sit at the beach.
I love it. Get your chair in the sand, face the water. Then
there are some people
with the
like
sun.
they are with you right now. They're like, yes, glory.
Get a good book.
And there's others. I feel like I'm like one of those sausage dogs on the roller at QT gas station or Wawa. It depends on where you're at in the nation. But that's what I feel like you're doing when you're sitting in a chair out there. You're just one of those sausage dogs. And I don't know if you ever buy those. Do you ever buy those gas station hot dogs?
Can't say that I do.
They're awesome. They're so good. They're perfect for your health. And there's a little sign there that says these are not ready yet or not done yet.
Yep.
But I am so fair-skinned that about 3 minutes of sitting in the sun, I am done.
They have umbrellas that you can buy and take with you.
If there's an umbrella, I do agree. It's much better. An umbrella and a good book and a good sunny day. Pretty phenomenal.
I have a feeling my beach trips are going to be a little bit different this summer.
Yes. Going to have a youngin'.
No, not spending hours sitting in the sun. Said goodbye to those days.
However, it is good to take the little young son to the beach and they kind of pass out under the umbrella.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome to watch. But we want to help make sure all of you guys have a great vacation. And we're so grateful that you listen to the podcast week in and week out. And we always like to be right now relevant, as I mentioned. And this thing about summer vacation, we want you to have a great vacation. We want you to be able to plan for that so that no debt chases you home. And a great way to do that in this current money event is to think about preparing a mini budget to prepare for your budget. And a mini budget allows you to think about all those expenses that you might incur with the vacation, such as lodging, travel, food, entertainment, tickets, admission fees, things like that. Did I get them all?
I think so. The things that get you that you don't necessarily.
Yeah.
A lot of people plan for like we have to pay for the condo or the Airbnb, but then you don't think about, we're going to go to the Ripley's Aquarium and that's going to cost a lot of money, or we're going to go do the Ferris wheel, or go-karts or whatever, you don't think about that.
And it's very important to think about it ahead of time. And in fact, how do you plan for those things that you just don't know and aren't aware of? I encourage you to put a line item in your budget called, discovery along the way or fund money or whatever it might be, so that you're not bound up to say, well, that was never there in the first place. Put something in there so you have flexibility during the vacation, especially if the kids really want to do that. And all of y'all have grandkids. We know they can talk you into anything. Just make sure you plan financially for it and make the process fun. Use the mini budget and make it fun. Do this ahead of time. I always say, what do you say to this, Megan, that the planning side of vacation is almost as much fun as the vacation itself? Like the anticipation of it, thinking about it, Jordan, exploring and thinking through and asking people who've been there.
Jordan and I are big planners, and he really, really loves planning, especially like our vacations. So I kind of let him take control of that, but he loves it. And I love it too. I love talking about it. We both love like researching on TripAdvisor what we're going to do or asking people. Mm-hmm. One of our favorite vacations we just went on last year was we went to Apalachicola in Florida, and neither one of us had been there before. So we asked some friends what we should do, and we got to go explore, and it was just a lot of fun. So,
it really is awesome. And last summer, I had this great moment of taking my high school graduate daughter and my bride to Europe.
You went on a big one.
We went on a European vacation. And planning that was so awesome because I was going to a place I'd never been before, going to nations that didn't speak my language, and being able to just ask others who've been there ahead of me, talking to experts. We really planned out an amazing vacation, and I left with a nice booklet of step-by-step what we were going to do, but also some downtime for us to be able to do things that weren't in the schedule. But you know what was awesome? We planned for it in advance, and we had the mini budget pulled up literally, and, airfare was costly, and all of the different expenses of our London pass and the Paris pass and all the museum passes.
Sounds so magical.
It was awesome. It was magical. And the Eiffel Tower and all that stuff, doing the research and finding that allowed us to save in advance. And we got to enjoy this amazing vacation, and no debt chased us home. And I remember the days when I had vacations where debt chased me home. And I got to pay for the vacation. The beach beat me home. All the different stuff. And so I want you to have fun with this planning. And one of the things I want to encourage you is, as you're planning for it, don't say we can't afford it or it's not in the budget. It's not in the budget. It's such a terrible statement, so limiting. And saying we can't afford it. The truth is, you probably can't afford it. You can if you put a plan together. So view it as an opportunity to really explore ways to meet budget. And it's an amazing way, and it's amazing to discover how you can really have a great vacation without blowing your own budget. And don't worry about what other people do on their vacation. Figure out what fits your budget and choose to have a blast. One other tip, make sure you use cash envelopes for those expenses like entertainment and tickets and tourist knick-knacky things and food. Because if you don't, you will go over budget, and you just might be tempted to pull out the plastic. And as Dora the Explorer says, when Swiper the Fox starts stealing things, Swiper, no swiping. And, of course, we would love to hear your guys' ideas. As you're listening to this podcast, maybe you found ways to save a ton of money on your vacations. We'd love for you to share that with us. Maybe we can post those on a separate post or share them on an upcoming podcast so that others can learn from your experience on your paid-for and advanced vacations. Yep. So that's it now for the current money events section.
And we do have a mini budget on our website. So in our free tools, you can go there. We'll include a link in the show notes for that. But you can go there, download that, and type in all these expenses and put in estimates and that kind of stuff. So it's fun.
Great. So much fun.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to go to our success story now. And our success story comes from Todd. And Todd says, I attended an FLE, so that's our financial learning experience.
Yes.
Maybe Joe's come to your church and done one of these. If not, maybe you should run to your pastor and tell him that he needs to come and do one of these. So I attended an FLE 3 months ago. I'm happy to report that I paid off a car loan and have a month's worth of salary saved.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So let's put this in the terms of the ladder. And that's shared by who? Todd. So Todd shared this great success story, and that's phenomenal. And so we're looking at rung number 2 was accomplished, which is saving 1 month's worth of expenses.
Yep.
And he's working on rung number 4, at least that's what he shared in the success story, of paying off a debt, a non-house debt. And that's fantastic. So way to go, Todd. And one of the things that I know is you never have to recover from a great start. And so he's off to a great start.
Yep.
And so I just encourage you, make sure that you put before you your goals and then make one step forward today. From this podcast, take a step forward. Every time that you lean into what we're teaching or others are teaching about money, or you're leaning in your budget session, just choose to be focused on taking one step forward. Can't take 20 every time, but if you can take one, before you know it, you'll look back and you have come a mighty long way.
Yeah.
Fired up.
And to note, he did both those in 3 months.
3 months.
So
it's amazing what you can do when you get focused and intense after it.
Yep.
As Dave Ramsey says, gazelle intense, because the lion and the cheetah are coming after you.
All right. So now back to our featured question. So just to remind you guys, it's that time of year when many people are doing their spring cleaning. However, closets and drawers aren't the only thing you should be cleaning out. This week, we're going to share some ways you can spring clean your finances.
Yes.
So spring cleaning your finances
I love
or
spring cleaning.
spring
I really
cleaning
do.
your Monday.
Spring cleaning is awesome for me, and I have a barn now. It's so awesome. It's a red barn, and it's got 2 cupolas on the top with a jumping deer and
It's
a
a very
tractor
nice
on top
barn,
of it. I
yeah.
love it. It's a red barn on my farm, and it's got my John Deere tractor in it and another John Deere tractor in it. And
You're just a country
maybe another
song
one.
waiting to happen.
I am a country song, and she thinks my tractor's sexy. I'm sure of it.
Thank
but
you.
anyhow,
Thank you, Kenny Chesney.
But I love pulling everything out of that barn. I love pulling every single thing out of it, pulling the tractors out, pulling 4-wheelers out, getting everything out of it, and then bringing the blower in and just getting it all blown out, all the windows open. It's such a great feeling. My bride, Jen, she goes out in that garage and she backs out both vehicles, pulls everything out. She just loves it. There's something that is awesome to the soul, particularly in spring, to clean things up.
Yep.
Do you have it like this same inclination?
Yeah, I love doing it. Yeah, we do it all the time. We've been specifically cleaning our house room by room, getting ready for the baby. But we, at 9 months pregnant, it's kind of hard to clean your house. So we have some friends that they graciously came and deep cleaned our house for us.
Those are some good friends.
Yeah. Well, we did pay them some, but it was a great deal. And so, I usually love cleaning our house, but when you're 40 weeks pregnant,
you're there.
You can't really do that. So, but I love pulling everything out. I love going through it. I love, I don't love getting rid of things, but Jordan has taught me to be better at that.
There we go. So you're going into some tips that can help us with our finances.
Yeah.
So let's help everybody spring clean their finances. That same feeling is springtime. So let me set the mood. Can I set the mood?
Set it.
The mood is there are yellow daffodils. The tulips are up. The azaleas are blooming. The lilacs are getting ready to bloom up north. I mean, it is beautiful, and it's 72 degrees. It's a sunshiny day with a light breeze. It is a day off, and guess what? You have 3 other days off after this.
Woo.
So we're going into spring clean your finances. Let's go. Let's help some people. What are some things we can do to spring clean our
right.
money?
Number 1, survey the situation.
That's right. You got to survey the situation.
You got to know what you're working with.
You got to make sure you don't bite off more than you can
Yeah.
chew. Now, I just mentioned in my little setup there, and it sounded nice to me. I love the lilacs are getting ready to bloom, and you got the tulips going. But if you take on everything, you could be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And so survey the situation, and here's how you can do this financially. Get the family involved. You can accomplish more with family. And practically speaking with your finances, you could review the last 3 months of your bank and credit card statements and ask the question, has your spending become messy? Have you kind of let go in certain areas and some unnecessary expenses have started to sneak in? What does your filing look like? Do you have a stack of paperwork overwhelming? I'm telling you right now, as I do this podcast, I have this home office. And right now, there is a pile of insurance papers and investment updates from all these quarterly updates that are just driving me insane. They will be disappearing from my life within the next couple days. I'm doing some spring cleaning. And so that's what it looks like, is to assess the situation. Got to say, how big of a problem is this? What do I need to focus on? And then what's the next step we should do, Megan?
All right. Number 2 is clean room by room.
That's right. So how do you clean room by room with your finances? Well, I say look at your rooms as different categories of spending. So what are some categories, Megan, that everybody could focus on?
Yep. So we have household expenses, automotive expenses, food expenses, clothing expenses, and personal expenses.
And you might have other categories in your household.
Yeah.
But let's look at it from household. We won't go through each of these, but, household. What do you look at when it comes to household? Well, can you look at your mortgage? Is your insurance on your house been going up? And it's buried in your escrow account. So you for some reason, my payment went up $50 a month. Well, that's $600 a year.
Yeah.
And it's probably your insurance. So maybe you need to make a few phone calls to get better insurance. Maybe you've got Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime, and you've got like all these subscriptions and you don't need them all.
Yeah.
Maybe you spring clean some so that the kids get out of the house and you get out of the house and not inclined to sit there and be a couch potato. That could be very helpful. Another one could be when you're looking at your household, is there an expense you could just eliminate entirely, like a utility like cable? Or maybe you could change out all the lights in the house to LED lights. In fact, the other day, I was helping reduce paperwork and going to electronic payments with my electric bill, which Duke Energy provides our power here. And do you know they will send me 15 free LED bulbs, no cost? And so I applied,
didn't realize it was that
and I got
many,
my 15 free LED bulbs
Wow.
headed to my house for free. And so spring cleaning is underway. I encourage you to do the same with your major categories of expenses. Look at your personal expenses especially. Is there a gym membership that you're paying for but you're not using, particularly in the summertime? I run outside a lot. Very rare. The only thing that chases me inside is cold weather, really cold weather. And so, during the summer, I don't really need to go to the gym. Now, my kids use it a lot during the summer in the pools and all that stuff, so maybe I'll keep it. But you know what? Spring cleaning, looking at each, room by room. Focus only on the housing, and then focus on your automotive expenses. Then focus on your food, like groceries and dining out. One by one, think about how you could clean them out.
Awesome. All right, number 3, pull everything out into the sunlight.
Isn't it amazing what things look like when it gets out in the sun?
It's a little different
Some of the
sometimes.
stuff you've been holding on to, you're like, you know what? That I thought I bought that yesterday, but I'm getting old now. I'm old now. I need a cane. I need a walker. I'm 45. Good grief. And so, no, that's actually very young. Somebody needs to email me and tell me that I'm young. I will accept any and all, kind words about that. But here's what I know. I've got stuff I've had for 25 years, and I keep saying I'm going to use it. Like I have an RC airplane, like a radio-controlled one, remote-controlled one, that I built from scratch.
Oh, wow.
It's awesome. It's got an engine. It flies 50 miles an hour. It has not flown in 15 years.
Keaton
And
would
I
love
keep
that.
moving it. I fired it up one day, and it's got this problem that the engine gets stuck in high gear, and I had to sit and hold it. It would not turn off. I had to sit and hold it until it ran out of gas.
Oh, gosh.
Which is horrible. I breathed fumes for a while. And it was
Explains
awesome.
a lot.
But anyhow, you got to pull it out in the sunlight so that you look at every single expense with a clear and critical eye. For example, are there subscriptions or memberships that you won't need during the summer? Is there gym membership? Is there Netflix, Hulu, Prime? Is there cable TV? Is there stuff that is in your house, like physical items that you could pull out in the sunlight and say, you know what, we don't need this, but we could sell it and it would generate money for us. And you know what? That would help us in our finances. And by the way, it allows you to declutter your life and put money in your pocket. And when those both can happen at the same time, that's a winner. So pull out all your expenses and look at it with that clear, critical eye to make sure that everything that you're spending money on has a fair and deserved right to be in your budget.
Yeah.
And if it's not, cut it out.
Yep. So we have this rule we try to stick to. If you haven't worn it clothing-wise that season, then you need to get rid of it.
Please don't talk about that.
Which is terrible because like I said, I have a hard time getting rid of things sometimes.
I have shirts that I've had for 20 years.
I keep telling myself,
I got to get rid of them.
I'm totally going to wear that this season. And then I don't. And then I just keep putting them in my closet. But there's this show on Netflix. I don't know if you've watched it or not. It's called Tidying Up.
I've not watched it.
Or maybe you should, because I feel like it goes along well with this. But Marie Kondo, she's a sweet little lady, comes in.
She can teach you to tidy up?
Oh, yeah. She teaches.
Awesome.
You hold the item and you say, does this item bring me joy?
Oh.
And if it brings you joy, then you can keep it. But if not, then you have to get rid of it.
That is so good.
So I feel like kind of goes along with this too. You're bringing it out in sunlight and you're saying, does this item bring me joy?
You know what? That actually really leads us to our next step, which is number 4.
Number 4, only keep what you really need. Only
keep what you really need. And so I'm reminded of this song that my daughter made me listen to a lot over about 3-4 years ago from Frozen.
Everyone's.
Let it go. Let it go. Just got to let it go. And listen, how do you let go? Go electronic. Do you really need paper copies for real of your power bill? I've always gotten paper copies.
Yeah.
I just broke up with paper copies. I always got paper copies of my insurance premium on my policy. You know what? If I need it, I'll print it out. But you know what? I don't need to see the printout. I look at it, boom, pay it, gone. And so go electronic and make stuff automatic. So it ensures you're never late, and it allows you to only keep what you really need. And there's something that I've seen in this. I've seen another show. You talked about, what's this? Tidying Up?
Tidying Up, yeah.
Yeah. I've watched Hoarders.
Oh, yeah. That's the opposite.
And I am just overwhelmed when I watch that show, because people's stuff has literally gripped their heart so deeply that it ruins relationships. It ruins their living conditions. It's awful. It's just downright awful. And we know it's an issue for many people, and it's stressful, and it causes people to lose their houses. It's a safety hazard. It's so many issues. And I've been in houses of hoarders, and it's just a disaster. But one of the things that I note when it comes to finances is a lot of times we tend to hoard. And we hoard things that are not good for us and are not healthy. And for whatever reason, we tend to just hold on to it, particularly when it comes to possessions. And the fact is, we're never going to use that possession again. But we have feelings that it brings to us when we see it.
Right.
And I would just encourage you, hey, listen, why not move that on to someone who will appreciate it and will love it for what it is and utilize it now? Just break up with it. It's a thing. And do as Frozen does. Let it go. And it'll be really awesome. So let's summarize the 4 things again of what they can do to spring clean their finances.
Yep. All right. Number 1, survey the situation.
That's right. We got to just say, how big is this? What do we need to tackle? Okay.
Number 2, clean room by room.
That's right. So get one entire room done. Look at that household expenses and go through all of them before you move on to the next one. And then look at your food expenses. Move on to the next one, automotive. But make sure you finish whatever you start. That gives you that feeling of, hey, look, I completed something.
Yep. 3, pull everything out into the sunlight.
That's right. You got to look at it with a clear eye and really know what you're looking at. That's awesome.
4, only keep what you really need.
That's right. Declutter your life. And tidying up can be helpful, and hoarding, that is unhelpful. And so I have done some research on this, preparing for this episode, and found a couple great articles for all of our listeners. We're going to include them in the show notes on spring cleaning. One of them is from U.S. News and World Report, and it's called 8 Tips for Spring Cleaning Your Finances.
Oh.
It's a great article. And another one was from moneytalksnews.com, and it was 13 tips for spring cleaning your finances. And each of them I found to be helpful for me. And so it's very good. So I encourage you to click on those and read those to kind of get some extra learning in this area.
All right. So our key financial quote for today is, have nothing in your house that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful. William Morris.
Isn't that a great statement?
Yeah.
And this guy is a British fellow from the late 1800s. And this statement is great, where he says, have nothing in your house that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful. That's a really good philosophy for what gets to come back in the house when you're cleaning it up. And I think it's really good for your finances. So, what do I believe to be beautiful in my finances? Giving. Things that I'm passionate about, my church and Purdue University, Clemson University, some other causes that I love to support. But listen, there are some things that invade your finances over time. Get them out of there. They're not useful or helpful. Make them leave.
All right. So on our next episode, it's one of our favorite ones. We're going to be talking about the top money questions. So next Monday is the last Monday of April. I can't believe that. That's crazy. Awesome. So that means we're going to be answering your top money questions from the month in rapid fire style.
I love those. I love these episodes at the end of each month.
And so if you like today's episode, please help us get this podcast to others who could benefit. You could leave us a rating or a review, and that helps make us better. And then also make sure you're subscribing to the podcast so you get those each week when we release them. And then, so next Monday, we're going to be doing your top money questions. But if you have questions throughout the month, make sure you're sending those to us. We'd love to include those. We'd love to answer them. And we'd love to feature them on the podcast. So email us at info@iwbnin.com. And if you implemented one of our tips, make sure you share that with us. We'd love to hear your success stories or things that you found that have worked for you. So you can email us there as well.
And we'll exit by saying happy spring cleaning. And we can't wait to hear the success stories that result from it. We'll see you next time. The end of the month is upon us. Get fired up.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and subscribe. And for more great content and to stay up to date, visit iwbnin.com. We'll catch you next time.